Good day, everyone. I am Benedict Loving, and I'm going to talk about business process outsourcing in the Philippines, its history, and its impact to the society. You will be enlightened with this massive information on what's really going on inside the BPO industry. Let's start by questioning ourselves, what is BPO? When and for what reason it existed in the Philippines? Another thing is, do you know that BPO existed even before internet became a trend in the Philippines? How is that even possible? Without an internet? How about its official term? Do you know when it was formulated? Let's answer those questions one by one. Well, BPO or business process outsourcing is a subset of outsourcing that involves contracting third-party source providers for various business-related operations and responsibilities. BPO existed even before the trend of internet in the Philippines. Note that internet in the Philippines first became available on March 29, 1994. A great example to support such claim is Coca-Cola. Before Coca-Cola or Coke became known globally, it was first in the Philippines. From late 1880s, Coke was able to put part of the American market and continuously rise to its popularity. And after 3 decades, Coke decided to do outsourcing. Years later, in 1921, Coke, together with local corporations in the Philippines, they were able to establish their first international bottler. No later than the year 1981, the word outsourcing originated from the phrase outside resourcing, officially came into term. As time passed by, technology has been into a lot of changes that led to having what we widely use now, the internet. Internet shaped the kind of BPO we have and know today. Despite the kind of internet we had before, which is not as good as today, nevertheless, internet surpassed the limit of the old BPO. As the presence of internet getting acknowledged by businessmen, in year 1992, a man named Frank Holst started the first instance of BPO. He established the first contact center in the Philippines and seen as the stepping stone in establishing the industry of what we know today, or we commonly know now as call centers. However, in 1997, the first multinational account was established, advancing the state of over-the-phone customer services and telecommunications into a much higher level. But Jim Frank and Derek Holly founded the first ever professionally accepted call center company in the Philippines in year 1999. In the following year, BPO contributed 0.075% of Philippines' gross domestic product or GDP. It may have been small at the time, but it has risen over the years as it contributed up to 2.4% in 2005. As BPO continuously progressing, especially in terms of revenue and growth, it hailed the Philippines as the world's BPO capital in 2010. The next 2 years, BPO has an increase in revenues all over the Philippines, with a net worth amounting to $11 billion and 638,000 employees, which led to the rise of revenue, which comprised 5.4% of the Philippines' total GDP at that time. In 2013, the people being employed by BPO increased tenfold, with 900,000 people. Up to present, BPO is expected to produce new jobs for a lot of people in the Philippines. BPO may seem to be a great help, especially when it comes to the financial aspect and employment. But BPO is not all milk and honey. It has disadvantages also. But first, let us know more about BPO's advantages. BPO helped a lot of Filipinos by providing them the opportunity to have a job. Majority of them were Filipinos whose highest educational level attained were secondary level and were rampant in the country due to poverty. BPO is a great opportunity for people who were hopeless in proceeding college due to financial problems, for people who gave up finding a decent job with good compensation. BPO work experience is a stepping stone for Filipinos to have a better chance to pull off future work-related interviews. BPO really has a great impact to Filipinos of having a stable financial status due to promising amount of salaries and incentives offered to them. And I bet it is the major reason for some to be part and to engage in BPO industry. Those salaries and incentives are a great help in improving one's physical condition and appearance because workers are now able to buy expensive supplements, maintenance, cosmetics. They can now afford therapies from experts to free themselves from stress. In addition, BPO contributed to the growth of one's personal and professional well-being. In the BPO world, not all customers are polite and kind. Some customers are irritable and disrespectful. Experiences with irritable customers challenge your patience and your ability to handle people like them and situations like that. BPO is like a bridge towards the enhancement of one's communication skills, and Filipinos are known to be good speakers in English, which is an edge in work. And English, as an international language, an ingredient in the BPO industry, thus, communication skill is a significant skill in the BPO world. On the other hand, here are the disadvantages of BPO's existence in the Philippines. BPO may have a higher compensation and better benefits compared to most local companies, but it has given every Filipino workers a higher stress levels due to some irritable customers and the shifting schedule to match the client's time zone, which is not an edge for those who are not a night person. In addition, it affects one's eyesight. It has a bigger chance of damaging the eyes of the workers because of the fact that the work requires the use of computers. Next is the kind of process BPO work has. It is monotonous. It tends to be repetitive, which is difficult for some workers to stay motivated. And when a person is not motivated in work, what will happen? Well, it will lead to poor performances, and in order to enjoy it, one should have a coping mechanism. Also, the massive number of employees contributed to the traffic in the large cities where call centers are a thing. Another disadvantage is some employees leak data of the customers, which threatened the data privacy that led to the doubt and hesitation of some customers to outsource in the Philippines nowadays, and may affect the good reputation of what BPO companies in the country established. If feedbacks are bad, reputation will go bad too. If the reputation gets bad, there will be a lesser employment opportunities and customer who will outsource. And if that happens, the contribution of BPO to the country possibly be lower than the what is expected. Thus, affect Philippines' economic status big time. Filipinos who are call center agents have been underestimated because of the fact that most of them don't have any college degrees. But we shouldn't underestimate call center agents because of the kind of work and setup of schedule they need to deal with is undeniably complicated. And call center agents, for me, were much more in advantage aside from the fact that they have bigger salaries and incentives, but in terms of excellent communication skills and time management that some educated and degree holder people lack and fail to develop. To conclude today's topic, let me tell all of you this. As peer information that I have searched and shared to all of you, I see BPO as an enlightenment to the modern world, and a hope to every Filipino who aimed high in life but failed to achieve such goal because of some factors that hinders their way to success. But success takes every form wherever and whenever there is an opportunity to savor and treasure. It just takes a lot of positivity, open-mindedness, and courage to take the risk. So for those who aims to hone their confidence, patience, and fluency, BPO work is a great choice for you, as well as for those people who have potential in the business world. Don't get left behind and start engaging yourself in the modern world of work through business process outsourcing. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. The speaker would like to give credits to the following references: